Both sides move back into position here at the MCG. And the Bombers, the leading side by 13 points at this stage, will go to the city end to the right of the broadcast position in this second term. Ripping night of footy, Schwatter.
Yep.
Have a look at the Triple M replay screen, Schwatter. Will Langford's old man sitting there with Sam Mitchell just in front of him there, just having a chat. So good to see Sam Mitchell here tonight.
So we're underway, second term. Not a particularly good bounce. The Bombers lead by 3 points. In fact, 13 points, I should say. Heppel delivers to Fantasia. Was he nudged in the back? Yes. 2 goals to Orazio Fantasia, including a drop kick, Brownie, in the opening term.
Yes, it was. He just had the ball, put it on the ground pretty quickly. The left foot drop kick from 15. It was beautiful.
Merritt delivers it inside 50, getting back numbers. McAvoy was there. He took out Danaher in the process fairly. Ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have it tossed in deep inside the Bombers' forward 50. They lead 4-4 to 2-3. It's a 13-point lead early stages, second term on the Exetel scoreboard.
And the message from Wushep would have been these first 5 minutes. We need to make a statement in these first 5 minutes. We can't let them kick the first goal.
So from the boundary throw in, big scrimmage down here, 20 players, hand pass Watson in the end. He was tackled, lost it. Tommy Mitchell, he's got it for the Hawks. They rise as one, the fans. Little kick off half back towards Piopolo. There's a beauty, hits him up in front of Gleeson. They run and carry the Hawks. It's Henderson who's got it now. Hand pass to O'Meara, another one to Langford for the Hawks. His hand pass straight to McDonald, Tippenwoody for the Bombers. Spots up Joe Danaher, doesn't mark 50 from home. Close to the boundary line he goes again. Can't shut off Chip Frawley, not rewarded for the tackle. Hand pass he got out towards Parrish Stratton on top of the footy. Umpire will ball it up, 45 from the Bombers' goal.
So results so far today, Melbourne by 30 points against the Saints at Etihad. They haven't won there for a long time. Port Adelaide defeated Sydney at the SCG by 28. To go with the Bulldogs by 14 against Collingwood last night, and then it got off on Thursday night. The Tigers by 43 points. Gold Coast and Brisbane. We'll update you with that one a little bit later on. O'Meara shrugged the tackle, then dropped the pill. Feeds the handball back. Birchall standing start. This is good pressure inside their forward 50 from the Bombers. Watson feeding through. Tipper, shot on goal. Bang! Hit the post. Keeping it camped inside their front half, the Bombers. 4-5-29, 2-3-15. Bombers way, Exetel scoreboard, Exetel NBN, the speed you need.
Unbelievably clean there from Tippenwoody. What about the change in his body shape from playing a year of football and then another pre-season? He is a beast, just full of muscle.
Long kick from full-back at half-back now for the Hawks. Sweeping hand pass out to Ricky Henderson. Goes one way, then the other. Little hand pass inboard to Big McAvoy. Goes back to Henderson by hand, close to the boundary line. Defensive side of the wing. Has to kick under pressure. Bounces to Piopolo. Clever hand pass from him to Harktung. Goes back to Piopolo. Kept running. Little short ball to Cyril. Bounced into his arms forward of the wing. He's got Langford calling for it. Half forward. Got him. Langford marks, plays on. Runs to 40. Settles. Fires. And misses. To the right, the Hawks 2-4-16, the Bombers 4-5-29, 2.5 second term, Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
Just give us some Bosch Tool leading possession winners, Brownie, and people that have been quiet.
Mitchell and Langford have 9 each. Langford would have 10 now after that one. Heppel 11, Merritt 11. Guys that are quiet. Brent Stanton, only the 2 disposals so far, normally gets a fair bit of it. Jack Gunston's only had the 1 touch so far tonight.
Ambrose goes to McKernan, clunks the mark. There's Sean. Right half-back flank, cheeky handball over the top to Merritt. Chipping ball, Collier, McAvoy. Big Ben cleaned him up with a full body slam spoil. And the ball goes out of bounds as Bruce waits to come back on. And we'll have it tossed in. 4-5, 2-4. 13-point lead to the Bombers. 3.5 gone Exetel scoreboard.
Joe Watson's only had the 3 disposals as well, up against Langford, who's had the 10.
So McKernan for Essendon, boundary throw in, tap down to Watson, worked his way to the front of McAvoy, and Essendon claimed position. Collier's sweeping hand passes a beauty to Hartley. He kicks forward to the wing, Tippenwoody underneath it, goes past him, Danaher behind, won't trap this. Grabbed by Chip Frawley, little hand pass to Gibson. It was a wild one, and he went to ground. McDonald, Tippenwoody dove in there and got caught high. Geez, they're frenetic, the Bombers. And in what was a tough season last year, hasn't this young man staked a claim, Swatter?
And this man, in the absence of a number of big-name players, Zach Merritt has elevated himself to a elite-level football player. Watson Chipping ball inside 50, not a good kick. Sicily dropped an easy mark. Frawley does the roving, floating handball to Roughhead. Gives it back to Gunston, charging through the middle. Getting out of the way was McAvoy, left it for Shields. Goes to Puoppo on the charge. Cyril, good work Bagley. Desperate spoil. Beautiful defensive pressure when they were away and gone, Hawthorn.
Bombers true centre half back. Gleeson's kick across to Hurley, went over his head and he's going to run, and here comes Poppy. He sprints to the contest, close to the boundary line. Hurley under the pump. Be happy to see it out of bounds. 55 from the Hawks goal.
G. Puopolo won his time over again. Just dropped that easy. I don't know whether the lights were in his eyes or not, but Cyril Rioli was just charging towards the goal. It was set up beautifully. It was just a lay down your glasses. It was a goal, and he dropped the easiest of marks.
Seabus super special comments tonight from Nathan Brown. Boundary throw in. Bombers get the clearance out of the pack with a kick to the wing. Langford chases the footy, bounces the ball off the ground. Frawley lays the tackle. So Burgoyne comes in to claim it for the Hawks. Nice hand pass out the back to Sicily. Defensive side of the wing out of side. Another one to Tommy Mitchell. Spots up Langford at half back. Now Langford for the Hawks. High kick back to half forward. Shields and Watson in a one-on-one. Shields big leap but dropped the mark. Allowed Watson in ground level. Hand pass to Stanton. Tried to get a hand pass to McKernan. Didn't reach him. Roughhead lurks around this pack. Many tackles laid. The umpire lets the boys play as Smith punches it out wide and chases his own foot. He does well. Finally, he finds a little bit of space in huge traffic and kicks a high ball to half forward. Rioli off hands. Hand pass out wide. Puopolo. He's 40 from home, heading to the boundary line. Hand pass to Gunston. High kick to the hot spot. Now he's got Vickery and McAvoy. McAvoy will mark.
Good communication there by the Hawthorn players. The ball was in the air for a while, Baz, and Vickery was there, McAvoy was there, Rioli was there, and they didn't exactly shepherd, but they just did what they needed to do to allow McAvoy to go up unaided. Then he should kick a pretty easy goal. They're away up at the Gold Coast. Brisbane Lions 13, leading Gold Coast zip.
The near map aerial imagery around the grounds from Nathan Brown as McAvoy punt road end 40 out directly in front, puts it through. The big fella, Ben McAvoy. 3-4-22 the Hawks, the Bombers 4-5-29. That's on the Triple M Exetel scoreboard, 6.5 second turn.
Well, the inside 50 count now is starting to favour the Hawks. They're starting to get on top in that area. They're starting to get on top in the contested possessions and the clearances. They're still behind in this game, but the Bombers, as we know, had a massive fast start, but starting to get their hands on the ball. Guys like Burgoyne, Birchall, who didn't really have much of it in that first quarter. Hartung's had some pace off the half-back line. Jaeger O'Meara is starting to come into it. Shields has been very good, so now's the time for the Bombers to answer.
Robbo.
As we picked up Swatter in the first quarter, Cyril heavily strapped now with that quad, so he's it's actually kicked in, so they've actually had to look at the champ.
Well done, Robbo. No one picks it up any better or quicker than our man Robbo, and Ruff's been pinned in the middle of the ground for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy. Free kick goes to Goddard, and he'll drop a high speculator inside 50. Gibson, as he's done all of his career. Third man up, good spoil McKernan. Got a scrubby ball away, fortuitously into the path of Heppel. Feeding handball, Collier. Darting ball, drops it long. Hooker! Had it, lost it, got it, kicked it. Did it all on his own. A one-man effort. Hooker's got a couple, and the Bombers get the quick reply. 5-5-35, 3-4-22, Triple M Exetel scoreboard. Cale Hooker with a pair.
Every time the Bombers win a clearance and move the footy quickly, it puts the Hawthorn defenders under pressure. Now, they're not a young group down there, Hawthorn, but they've had some changeover in the last couple of years, so they've still got their main guys in Stratton, Gibson and also Frawley, but the ball movement is so quick that the Hawthorn defenders are starting to panic at the moment. You saw two of them then go up against one Hooker. He was able to drop the mark, Hooker, still had the presence of mind to keep his feet where the other two fell over. He's just starting to panic when the ball comes in, just that tad quick.
Seabuth special, super special comments tonight. Nathan Brown, Seabuth. Whether you're on the tools or in the office, Seabuth is built to last. I say it with authority, Swatter. I'm a proud member. For McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy. Bounces good. There's players from both sides pile on top of the pill. It's going nowhere. The umpire will ball this up. So 13 points, the Essendon lead. That was their lead at quarter time. We're 9 minutes into the second term. Bombers opened this game by bursting and kicking the first three, but she's tightened right up now. From the ball up, McAvoy dives on the footy behind the pack, grabbed by Bruce. He's 70 from home, kicks a high ball in hope inside forward 52 against 2. Off hands, Langford toe pokes off the ground, a 20 out, then kicks it out of mid-air and just to the right of the goal post. And through for a point, 3-5-23 Hawthorn, 5-5-35 the Bombers, 9.5 second term. And that's on the Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
Probably been the Hawks' best so far, Langford. Had 14 disposals. He's playing directly on Jobe Watson, who hasn't had a lot of it.
Fantasia on the tear. McKernan couldn't take the mark. It was a bad bounce from Orazio. Comes into the path of Birchall, feeding handball back. Frawley steadies the ship. Got to Mitchell. Bosch tools Hamonic.
Tom Mitchell, that's number 13.
And a handball goes to Burgoyne. To Birchall. The Bees driving high ball. Vickery, Hurley, a good spoil. Vickery kept his feet. Composure gives a handball off. O'Meara round the corner. Bouncing ball across the face of goal for a behind. 3-6-24. 5-5-35. Bombers lead. 10 gone second term. Triple M Exetel scoreboard. What's happening between the two Queensland teams, please, Brownie? Thanks to near-map aerial imagery.
The Lions are off to a flyer. 3-2-20. Gold Coast yet to score. We've only played about 6 minutes up there.
So Michael Hurley just slowly retrieves the footy at fullback for the Bombers at the punt road end. He's got short James Kelly, short Zach Merritt. He looks to go to Merritt's dangerous because Roughhead was onto it. He ran a good 10, 15 metres, slapped it out of bounds, and Ruffy holds it inside Hawthorn's forward 50. For Bob Jane Teamarts, Robbo.
Baz, I tell you what, Cyril's in pain, with this left quad. He's too frightened to sit down. It's kicked in, actually, so he's got to remain mobile because corkies can kill you.
How long you reckon he's been off for, Robbo?
I reckon good 5 minutes. He swapped with Bruce.
Nicely done, Robbo. Good mark. Courageous mark dropping into the hole from Paddy Ambrose. He's an old-fashioned footballer. But I reckon Johnny Worsfold would like the way he goes about his footy, Brownie.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was courageous. He really developed last year, one of those guys that are going to get that real benefit from players not being there because he got opportunities where he might not have got them last year.
Bombers have worked it across their full back line to the outer side, southern stand side of the ground. It comes back to Hurley from Bagley. Now he's standing at full back. 5 from the goal he's defending. Short kick to Goddard. BJ Goddard goes to McKernan. Game 50 tonight in his career. He marks the outside defensive 50. Short kick to Langford. That's Langford for Essendon. Goes back to Truce in a half-back with a kick to young McGrath. Another kick across to Bagley, who leads to the outer side. Half-back line on the southern stand side. Kicks the ball in front of James Kelly. The veteran goes. Another veteran comes the other way in Burgoyne. They clash. Ball spills to Langford for the Hawks. They've got the numbers. Hand pass to Hartung. Another one to Stratton. He dropped it. Billy goes and cleans it up. Picks it up again. Hand pass inside his defensive 50 to Birchall. Long one to Langford. He was swamped. Bombers reclaim possession through Green. Picks it up. High kick to Hooker. Dangerous ball. Frawley got a fist on it. Spills behind to Gibson. Hand passed into the toe of Duray. They're under the pump here, the Hawks. Parrish 15 for the Bombers goal. He's tackled and lost it. Tackles laid by both sides. Spilled to Gibson. Got a rush kick outside.
Yeah, well called, Baz. Under some serious heat, the Hawks. The ball goes out of bounds. And we have a Hawthorn player down in his defensive 50. I think that might be James Frawley. He's got a couple of trainers coming to him now. Looks to be okay, Robbo.
He went definitely hard at that contest, fisted out towards the boundary line. I just think he landed awkwardly on his shoulder.
Might come in his direction again. He decides to stay down. Ball towards the goal square. Bombers have got players everywhere. Parrish, Tipperwoody. Handball off. Fantasia. And there's Frawley. Last line of defence. Inches inside the goal line. Takes the mark. Handball off to Burgoyne.
Yeah, that was clever, wasn't it? Chip Frawley. Little hand pass to Burgoyne in the back pocket. Kick to Schoenmakers out of side wing. Rolls out of bounds. Throw it in, says the umpire. Bombers fans looking for a sneaky deliberate. 11 points up at Essendon Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Fans involved here tonight. 11 points up the Bombers.
Tell you what, the Brisbane Lions are putting on a clinic up there at the Gold Coast. They're 5-2-32. Gold Coast yet to score, not even halfway through the first term.
The McDonald's Triple M rocks footy. Ball goes off the side of the boot. And umpire Schmidt showed some good common sense. Said no, we'll have it thrown in. Full scoreboard reads for Exetel 5-5-35. Hawthorn 3-6-24. 13-point lead at quarter time. And it's currently an 11-point margin to the Bombers.
They're at the city end, Essendon. Boundary thrown on their forward 50. Zach Merritt, hand pass McKernan. Runs it along the ground to Fantasia at half forward. Hand pass Watson. A lot of traffic round the footy. Hand pass to BJ Goddard. Gives it back to Watson. Short kick to the forward pocket into space. Zaharakis chases it. Burgoyne comes the other way. Put the body pressure on. That was good. Sean Burgoyne wins it. Hand pass Henderson. Kick to the wing out of side to Big Ruffy and Hurley go at it. And the ball goes out of bounds in front of the great Southern stand.
Having trouble getting it past their half-forward line at the moment, the Hawks. Every time they look up, they've got a wall of Essendon players, and they need that. They just don't have the leg pace at the moment to get through them, and they're missing Bradley Hill. Isaac Smith hasn't really touched the footy at the moment, so their fleet-of-foot players are letting them down at the moment with their run and carry.
Cbus Super special comments. Cbus award-winning super for the building and construction industry. Nathan Brown in the back row doing it nicely. Ball goes out of bounds.
Just the 4 disposals to Isaac Smith so far.
Who's got the job on him thus far, Brownie?
It's a range of players. I don't think anyone's a lockdown tagging role on him, but he's just not being able to get in the game. Taylor Giray's another one. Only had the one kick, and he's normally a very fast-running player with the footy.
Hawks get it free. Henderson hacks it to half-forward. Ball spills free. Gunston needs to get busy. Handball off. Shields floats it over the top. Mitchell spins in, out of trouble. Drops it long. Rioli, McGrath. Rioli engaged, the veteran. All of his KG experience. Centering ball. Schoenmakers has got a couple. Gleeson, Bagley with courage. Bouncing ball, no damage done. Parrish, heavy traffic, somehow kept the pill. Gave it off to his teammate Hartley. He's gang tackled. Hawthorn lay the clamps. Stop him in their tracks. Hamill have it thrown up, 45 out directly in front of the...
They've missed a few holding the ball decisions tonight, the umpires. There's been a couple of tackles laid where the player had prior opportunity, didn't get rid of it, come to the ground. Umpire just calls play on, boys.
So a big pack around the ball up, tapped down to the back of the pack to James Kelly for the Bombers as he kicks outside defensive 50. The target was young Langford for Essendon, eluded him, went out of bounds. So a boundary throw in halfway between wing and half forward for the Hawks. Broadcast side, they go to the punt road in this second term. 16 minutes into it, and Essendon are hanging on to an 11-point lead. High pressure game here. This is not a manufactured rivalry. They don't like one another, Essendon and Hawthorn. Shields has got it. Hand pass off to Puopolo. Kick across the body or bounce inside forward 50. It's Ambrose for the Bombers. High bounce, tapped it down to Hurley. He got dragged to the ground. And the umpire will ball it up. 45 out from the Hawks goal.
What's happening at Metricon Stadium, Brownie?
Well, the Lions have kicked another one. It's now 6-2-38. Gold Coast one behind. It's a 37-point lead up there. Over half the quarter to go still.
Bagley mops it up, clearing ball momentarily. Hartung, short ball, is that 15? No, good umpiring. Goddard got in the way. Heppel the give, got it to Watson, and the runner is Zaharaka. Scrubs the ball to half forward, a poor kick. Standing start, Henderson delivers. Schoenmakers takes it down low. 48 out. On a 55-degree angle to the punt road end. Let's go downstairs, Robbo.
Oh, timing's everything. For Chip Frawley coming off. The physio went out to him complaining. I'm just looking at him now, left side of the head. So he's landed heavily in that clash that Brownie picked up. So they're going to look at him. Might even take him down in the rooms.
Well done, Robbo. Thanks to Bob Jane T-Mart, Chitara and Wheel specialists and experts. They do it all beautifully. Oh, a stop-start run-up from Shuey. Kick is on its way. Kick is pretty good. Gets his first. Hawthorn get their second of the term. And it's back to a 5-point ball game. 4-6, 5-5. Exetel scoreboard Bombers way.
Just not hurting them on the scoreboard at the moment, the Bombers. They dominated possession. Probably from about the 5-minute mark to the 15-minute mark. The game was played predominantly in Essendon's forward zone, but they just couldn't lay that knockout blow. They kept going inside 50 and inside 50. Scrubby kicks. Not quite getting the handle on the ball. A couple of missed opportunities. Then the Hawks go down there. They have it in a couple of minutes and eventually kick the goal. It breaks your heart. Comes back to 5 points. So it's a very, very good game of football, this one so far.
Bob Jane Teammates, Robbo, Chip Frawley, where's he gone?
Straight in the rooms, Baz. They've had a look at him on the bench. He couldn't answer the questions. They're going to take him down in the tunnel and have a work on him with regards to that concussion-heavy fall.
For McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy as Smith works it out of the centre for the Hawks. Scrubby kick wide. It'll bounce out of bounds. About 65 away from the Hawks goal out of side.
Zach Merritt so far, 18 disposals. He's the leading possession winner on the ground. Goddard 14. For the Hawks, Tom Mitchell's had 16, Will Langford 15. And young Henderson playing some pretty good footy off the half-back line. He's had 12 disposals so far.
So a boundary throw in. McAvoy in front of McKernan. Taps it out in front of him. Puopolo was the target, and he won it in a big pack of players. Punched out a hand pass to Burgoyne, who kicks to the forward pocket. Tommy Mitchell and Gleeson go at it. Mitchell gets the free kick. Gleeson got a hand on it and tapped it out of bounds. So Tommy Mitchell, with his backside on the fence, 25 out from goal, can have a shot.
Yeah, he's a left footer, run around, snap the ball through. One of my favourite pockets, this one.
Here he goes. Brownie could do it. What about Tommy? No, he can't. Put it across the face, through for a point. It's a 4-point lead to the Bombers. Triple M Exetel scoreboard, 19-second term.
Just recap the Chris Fagan coach Brisbane Lions against Rodney Eads. Gold Coast Suns, please, Brownie.
6-3. They are now 7-3, 45. Gold Coast one behind. It's a 44-point margin. 8 minutes 33 to go in the first term.
What a great start for Chris Fagan, coach of the Brisbane Lions. Up towards McAvoy. Got a good spoil in. Kelly's been industrious. Heppel fires out a Bosch Tools handball. Got it to Merritt. Back to Kelly. Back to Merritt. All by hand. Parrish may get it. No, Merritt ignores that. It's a brave kick. Courageous kick to Fantasia. Brilliant movement of the ball.
Hand pass to Joe. Danaher runs past and looks corridor. Hand pass into Watson. Job's 20-metre hand pass. Back to Danaher, who's 55 out. He loads up. Left foot. Long city end. Has hit the post.
It plays on though.
Had options, Brownie.
Options everywhere. It was like licorice all sorts. He opened the packet and he thought, nah, I'm going to go them all myself.
He just hopped the whole lot himself. Big Joe had men everywhere. 36-31. And the mark is taken down low by Gunston. What's he had for Bosch Tools, Brownie?
Jack Gunston's been quiet so far. This is only possession number 5 coming up.
36-31. Essendon's way. Only the one goal in this term which came off the boot of Hooker, who's got 2. The Hawks have kicked 2 themselves. McAvoy and Shellmakers. They get it to half forward. Mitchell just gathering it at will. Rockets a handball to Shields. Drop the pill. Ball spills free. Parrish is there. Mitchell another one. Handball to Smith. He was good off his toes, but a free kick going the Bombers' way.
Called for a throw against Tom Mitchell.
And it will go to Parrish. What has Tom Mitchell had, Brownie?
That is possession number 18.
Oh. So Parrish for Essendon. Cross the wing out of side, southern stand side. But into the arms of Sicily, who worked in a one-on-one well. Hand pass to Birchall. And his short kick to Burgoyne is beautiful. So Burgoyne. Hand pass back to Birchall, running behind him. Now kicks to the broadcast wing where Hartung is calling for it. He's in space. He marks, plays on. Where's the leader? Puopolo at half forward, missed him. Went over his head, bounced out of bounds. 45 from the Hawks goal. Bob Jane teammates, Robbo.
Frawley out of the rooms, but the Hawthorn haven't notified the AFL for the 20 minutes. He's just sitting here. They're biding their time, having a look at the key defender.
Clarko not far from you either, Robbo.
No, he's down here. This is tight, this game, and it's ripping down here. So exciting.
Throw in McAvoy. Danaher coming through Gunston. Gave a handball off to a stationary Shields. Bombers get numbers back. Bagley. I've liked his game so far tonight, Brownie.
He's a hard nut, isn't he, Bagley? That's possession number 12, so he's doing his job. Playing on Sirioli, and it's a very hard role, but he's been able to get numbers off him as
Risky
well.
kick, Gleeson to Watson, couldn't hit the target. Hawthorn at half forward, the sidestep from the silky smooth, sure-handed Burgoyne wasn't so silky or smooth. Ball gets shoveled out the back door, half forward, brushing the tackle with Smith, gave a handball over to McAvoy. Big Ben not sure what to do, bounces it in the path of Dure, got away from Tipper, pulls the trigger and goes bang!
Good goal.
Hawthorn, for the first time tonight, Billy Hartung jags the goal. And the Hawks have the lead by the slenderest of margins. 5-7 to 5-6, 22 and a half gone. Exetel scoreboard.
It was a good answer from the young man. He got the ball on the wing here probably 3 minutes ago. He had Puopolo inside forward 50, missed him with a really easy kick. Easy for a young player then to lose his cool, lose his head, think, it's not my night, I've kicked that last one. He took that footy, he had to take on Tippermorty too, so it wasn't just anyone who wasn't going to lay a tackle. Tippermorty's one of the best run-down players we've seen over the last 12 months. Put the afterburners on, still under pressure, had to kick that from 40. Well done, really good answer.
Well, if you are a quality human being, you're listening to Nathan Brown tonight, Saturday Night Footy on the Seabus Super Special. Comments from McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy Saturday night at the home of footy, the MCG. Good bounce. Danaher up for Essendon, tap to his feet. And the midfielders pile on top, the umpire to ball it up.
Gold Coast got their first one. They are 1-1-7 to 7-3, 45. The Brisbane Lions, 6.5 minutes to go up there.
Well, that would be huge for the Lions if they can continue this barrage on. As McGrath for Essendon kicks a long ball to centre half forward. No mark taken. It was Hooker up. Goes onto it ground level. Punched out a hand pass to Zaharakis. He punched one out to Danaher. Roughhead put the body pressure on. Won the footy. Hand pass back to Gibson. Goes to ground and the tackle got caught high. Gibson with a free kick. Kicks across half back to Chip Frawley back on the ground. Good to see. Mark's back pocket.
Yep, we've got just over 4 to go the opening half.
First time they've been in front tonight, the Hawks.
That they have, and if you're wondering who that voice is, that belongs to Nathan Brown, the Tiger and Bulldog champ. Great to have him back in the box. Rioli, a deft tap into the path of Gunston. Smith charges onto it. Rioli gives him an escort. Has a bounce, the boy from Ballarat. 2 bounces, centering ball, over the top, unguarded goal square. Puopolo, Hawthorn are out by 7. Poppy hasn't had much of it tonight, but Hawthorn have banged 4 goals in this term to 1. They've turned a 13-point deficit into a 7-point lead as we make our way towards half-time. Exetel scoreboard, 6-7-43. The Bombers, 5-6-36.
It all started from a bit of Sirioli brilliance. He doesn't get a stat in that possession chain there, but just a deft tap on centre wing. The ball was right in front of the benches. It was almost like a fist out in front. He knew the players were running there. He fisted out in front. Then he had 3 players. One of those was Isaac Smith, who had a couple of bounces, missed the target. But then Puopolo, he had to hit this as well as Ronaldo for across the body while it was bouncing away from him. He did the job, but set up beautifully by Sirioli.
That is just a very classy goal from the Hawks for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy. McKernan up tap to ground level. McAvoy goes at it again. He's opposing ruckman. Got boot the ball to half forward. McGrath did it well. And he marks at half back for the Bombers. Hand pass off to Zaharakis. Gets a kick into the middle to McKernan. Marks hand pass Merritt. Hand pass Parrish. Back to Minute. They're on here. The Bombers with a long kick to full forward. Hooker up. Runs with a fly to the footy. Good fist on the footy. Sean Makers came in as well. Rush point to the Bombers. 6-point lead to the Hawks. 25 and a half second term. Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
Let's head around the grounds, Brandy. Near map aerial imagery.
Yeah, 45-7. Still 38-point margin to Brisbane Lions.
So Burgoyne takes the mark with 3:20 to go the opening half. Chipping ball over the top is marked. And the second attempt by Birchall. Tipperwoody guarding the mark just to the edge of the right-hand side. Half-back flank out of sight. Hawks defending the city end. Lead by 7. Been a good response. Essendon were electric in that opening 8 minutes. Kicked 3 goals. Led by 19 points. Good mark by McAvoy, who's starting to impose his will. Goes to Roughhead. Takes the mark just forward of the outer wing and looks to drop it long.
Look at the big Ruffy. Drop punters about 45, 50 metres to the forward pocket. Vickery there. Wait for it. Puopolo again. Behind the pack. The ball bounced away from him. Rolled through for a point.
They need to hold here, the Bombers. They're under enormous pressure at the moment.
7 points up the Hawks. 26 and a half second term. Bombers from fullback. Stanton underneath it outside defensive. 50 doesn't mark. A pack of 5 players. Stanton will go again. Taps it to Collier. He's at half-back. Wide hand pass to Parrish in space. They can go again. Looks corridor. Danaher waits for it to fall into his arms. Chip Flawley with a spoil. Danaher did well. Had 3 Hawks around him. Won the footy ground level. Hand pass Zaharakis. Another one Merritt in the middle of the MCG. Spots up Watson. 45 out. Settles. Fires and misses to the right. The crowd were on their feet, I reckon, halfway to that ball getting to Watson. 6 points up the Hawks. 27 and a half second term. Triple M Exetel scoreboard.
Would have been handy. Would have been real handy. They've only kicked the 1 in this term, the Bombers, to Hawthorn's 4. And they trail by a straight goal at the moment. Hawthorn through O'Meara. What's he had for Bosch Tools?
Jaeger O'Meara has had the 10 touches.
Smith getting busy. Bouncing ball, Bruce, centering kick, Gunston, Goddard, Vickery. Goddard did well. Did really well, did BJ against Vickery. Saw it through for a rush behind. The margin is back out the 7 points. Exetel scoreboard.
So the Bombers under pressure in this second term. They led it by 13 points at quarter time. Or the kick to Parrish, who marked and then kicked it outside defensive 50. Out on the full.
They need to get numbers back here, the Bombers, really quickly.
Yep, Stratton brought it in real quick to Gunston. He's 60 out from home. High ball inside or land 30 out, or Hurley worked his way to the front, thumped it to ground level. Merritt's kick under pressure to McKernan. Hand pass off to Parrish. The Bombers out of trouble.
Yeah, getting busy now is Parrish. Had to go lateral. What Stanton had for Bosch Tools?
Just the 5.
Watson looks down the line. He's only got Green. He looks inboard. He's got Tipperwoody. He looks further inboard towards the centre square. He's got Zaharakis. Now he just tips it over the top to Merritt, who's had a mozza of it on the logo. Chipping ball, Danaher. Goddard wants it. He's torched him, so expect a spray coming the other way, Joe. Driving ball, Hooker, one-on-one, good spoil. Green, will he give it off? He's got to get it first. He does. Floats to Hempel. Zaharakis spin it before he had it. Good work by the Hawks defenders. Vickery a standing start. Did well later. Hempel off to Smith, who charges through the middle.
Yeah, the Hawks a bit cleaner at the moment. O'Meara's got it forward to the centre. It's a vacant goal square. He runs it, then bounces it from 15 out, but it's gone right. And through for a point. Hawks out to a 8-point lead now. 29 minutes, second term. Triple M Exetel scoreboard as we close in on half-time.
26 seconds to go. Hawthorn just starting to really put the foot on the gas, Brownie.
Yeah, O'Meara, he had Rioli out then too. He saw him out of the corner of his eye. He looked at him, but he liked the open spaces of the goal square just a little bit better.
There are some really tired boys. This is round one. They've had a big pre-season, but Brownie, the opening game is just unbelievably taxing.
It certainly is. Really suck it in this time.
So we've got a 5-8-38 to 6-10-46 ball game at moment. Half-time, Hawthorn lead. Let's head around the grounds, Brownie.
Yeah, 8 to the Gold Coast, 45 to the Brisbane Lions. It's a 37-point margin.
Earlier today, Melbourne by 30 against the Saints. Port Adelaide by 28 against the Swans. Robbo, Brownie, Swatter and Baz. Saturday night call team for McDonald's. Triple M, Rocks footy.
Ripping game of footy tonight at the MCG. Perfect conditions. The Hawks lead it by 8 points at half-time after the Bombers led it by 13 at quarter-time. Hawthorn 6-10-46. Essendon 5-8-38. Got Robbo downstairs, Baz and Swatter calling the action. And this man, Nathan Bound, with the Triple M Bosch Tools stats at half-time, Brownie.
Well, the Hawks started to really get back into the game. As we know, the Bombers jumped them and had a fair amount of possession in that first term. At one stage, the Bombers led by 40 possessions. It's now plus 15 to the Bombers. The contested footy is really started to even up. It's plus 6 now to the Bombers, but still got a real advantage in the uncontested possession. The Bombers, they're still plus 18. Inside 50s now in favour of the Hawks. 30 to 25, and the Hawks, where they got back into that game, was in the clearances. They're now 22 to 10. It was 6 to zip clearances early. It was 7 to zip inside 50s early, and then the Hawks started to take control. Individually, Zach Merritt, 26 disposals. He's on track for 50 tonight. Unbelievable effort so far. Clearances 4. Dyson Heppel's had 15. Joe Watson, after a slow start, I think he only had 3 in the first quarter, has 15 as well. For the Hawks, Tom Mitchell, 19. What a big start for him, including 5 inside 50s. Will Langford, 15 disposals, 6 of those contested, and Birchall and Hartung, 14 apiece. Goal scorers, Hartung has 1, Shields 1, Burgoyne's kicked 1, Rioli, McAvoy and Schoenmakers. And for the Bombers, Hooker has 2, Fantasia has 2, and Danaher has a single goal.
This is the half-time break for IGA Liquor. Of course, IGA Liquor. Make sure you stock up at IGA Liquor this footy season, Brownie. I know I have. And really looking forward to this second half here. The other games today, Melbourne defeated St Kilda by 30 points at Etihad Stadium across town. Port Adelaide defeated Sydney by 28 points at the SCG in a 38-point lead. Quarter time to the Brisbane Lions over the Gold Coast Suns. That's for near-map aerial imagery. I suppose when you look back on this game, Brownie, the way it started, a lot of emotion. There was a lot of real emotion around the ground, obviously, particularly with the Essendon supporters. No doubt with the players as well, with the 6 Bombers coming back into the side. They bang the first 3 on the board. They get a bit of momentum. All of a sudden, reality sets in. The Hawks put the screws on, and we've got a real tight game.
Yeah, we certainly do. The Hawks bounce back really well. But what I've been impressed with Essendon is their ability to use the footy and slice it through the middle. They've changed direction time and time again because they realise the Hawks don't have a lot of leg speed. And even when the Hawks don't have that leg speed, the leg speed they do have hasn't been on show tonight. Taylor Girate has been down a bit. Sirioli hasn't had a lot of the football. And then Isaac Smith has been quiet as well. Burgoyne has been quiet. So they've beaten them on the outside tonight, the Bombers. But inside, where the game started to get tough and you needed to win the clearances and contested footy, that's where Hawthorn got on top, and that's where they really tightened the screws. If Hawthorn could get their forward line functioning a bit better, I think they would kick a winning score here and run away with it, because so far Schoenmakers hasn't really been near it. Tyrone Vickery hasn't been near it. Sicily's been forward and back. Jack Gunston hasn't been near the football, and either has Jared Ruffhead. So nobody's kicked a goal between those guys at the moment. So, and there's been a fair amount of football going through there, 30 inside 50s. If they have 60 for the game, you'd expect one of those 4 men to have a good night, but not one of them has troubled the scorers yet. So the Bombers, they were holding on towards the end of that half. They were really holding on tight. They were getting numbers back. They looked out on their feet. Let's hope the halftime breaks has come at the right time so they can regroup, re-energise and hit the Hawks with everything again in the second half.
We talk about the emotion with the band Bombers, and they had a problem last year where they couldn't play footy. Jared Ruffhead had a far bigger problem and missed the season as well, and great to see him back tonight. How have you seen his game so far?
Yeah, he's been, hasn't been a great game from Ruff. He's still finding his feet a bit. He missed a goal that he probably should kick. He's had the 7 disposals. He's taken 3 marks. The delivery into the Hawthorn forward line hasn't been great, but none of the Hawthorn forwards have done anything. It's just a work in progress for Jared Ruffhead. I'm sure he'll bag a couple over the next couple of weeks, even in the second half. But it's been a slow start for him, but he'll only get better.
Australia won the toss and batted in the 4th and final test match against India, of course, poised at 1 test all. They're 7 for 245 at the moment, the Aussies. Wade's in on 29 and O'Keefe has yet to score a short time ago. Steve Smith was the story of the day thus far, and he was out for 111, the Australian captain, posing another century. Any surprises for you today, Brownie? Melbourne, St Kilda, Port, and I suppose Port and Sydney is...
Massive surprise, yeah.
And the Demons over the Saints.
Yeah, I tipped the Demons today. I'm very bullish about the Demons. Anybody who's prepared to laugh at me, I think they can finish top 4. That's how good I think the Demons are this year. Their draw allows them to finish top 4 if they win the games they're going to win. And the odds were stacked in favour of the Saints today. The Demons hadn't won at Etihad Stadium for so long, but I still thought the Demons had a great pre-season. And when I looked at the score at quarter time, I missed the first quarter. It was 6-1. I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong. But the Demons bounced back, kicked, the 11 of the next 12 goals, and showed us they are going to be a force to reckon with this year. Yeah,
looked super today, did the Demons. Let's go around the grounds again for near-map aerial imagery. And the Suns and the Lions game is happening right now. So into the second term there by about 5 minutes. 7-3-45, the Brisbane Lions. 7-3-45. And the Gold Coast Suns 2-2-14. That was actually the quarter-time score, and it's still that now. An amazing start from the Lions. New coaching Chris Fagan. Brownie Zorko had 10 possessions in the first term with a couple of goals. 2 goals to Mitch Robinson as well for the Lions with their multiple goal scorers in that first quarter. But that is an amazing start. And the Dane Beams, the captain, has had 9 possessions in the first quarter.
Tell you what, you want your leaders to stand up when you're a new club and you're a new coach. Dane Zorko, 10 disposals, 2 goals. Dane Beams, 9. You look through that list of Brisbane players and there's a lot of players there that... there's at least 8 there. If you said to anyone who knew a little bit about footy, no, I've never heard of that player. So a really good start. Obviously, the Gold Coast Suns would be under enormous pressure if this trend continues. And, they lose this game by around 10 goals. It's 5 goals at the moment. There'll be huge pressure on that footy club, huge pressure on the coach.
Well, we got perfect conditions here. We are waiting for what will be, we think, a ripping second half. There's close to 80,000 people here. And there's a few of us involved as well. Wayne Schwass is calling the action, the superstar on Saturday night. Our captain, Nathan Brown, is here. We've got Robbo downstairs. I'm Baz, and we're really enjoying the contest at the moment. Hawthorn are up by 8 points. They're 6-10-46. The Bombers, 5-8-38. For McDonald's, Triple M Rocks Footy. Half-time break coming to a close here at the MCG. The Hawks lead it by 8 points over the Bombers. Been a ripping game. Hawthorn 6-10-46. The Bombers 5-8-38. 2 goals to Fantasia and 2 goals to Hooker for the Bombers. The only multiples on the ground. Danaher's got 1. And for the Hawks, all singles. Hartung, McAvoy, Showen Makers, Shields, Puopolo, and Cyril's got 1 as well for the Hawks. The other game today, or one of the other games today, Melbourne defeated St Kilda by 30 points. And shortly we're going to cross to a chat, courtesy of Fox Footy, that David King is having with Nick Riewoldt. So we'll go to that shortly, Brownie, but I suppose 6 minutes before the end of the game, there was on the vision you could see Nick Riewoldt hyperextend that right knee, went off on the cart, and I suppose heart's in mouths. He's at a stage of his career that he doesn't need a serious knee injury.
No, exactly, and the prognosis so far has been pretty good. They don't think it's going to be an ACL, so hopefully Nick Riewoldt's back firing very quickly because he played some pretty good footy today before he got injured.
Yeah, he certainly did. Nathan Brown here tonight, of course. Wayne Schwass calling the action. Mickey Roberts downstairs along with me, Baz. The Bombers come back out onto the ground here. The umpires come out at the same time. And it'd be interesting to see whether the Bombers can stay in this match. They certainly started with a lot of emotion, and the Hawks fought back. 13-point leaders, the Bombers at quarter time. It was the Hawks leading now by 8 points at half time. Courtesy of Fox Footy, David King caught up with Nick Riewoldt. Let's see how he is.
Nick, an amazing afternoon, an amazing finish to the afternoon. Can you tell us how you're feeling and what the situation is with your knee?
A bit of relief, to be honest, Kingy. Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a goose now, but no, just some mechanism that occurred out there. I heard a big pop. The pain, just the way I sort of reacted to it. I haven't done an ACL before, but I thought that's what I've done. So The docs are pretty happy with the mechanism and the testing that they've done, that it's not an ACL, but clearly there's going to be something there, so we'll investigate further tomorrow. But I think I've dodged a bullet, mate.
Structurally sound, that's great news for the Saints fans. So right now, how does it feel?
Oh no, it's stiff and sore now. From all reports, gave it a pretty good wrench, so it'll be sore, but I'm pretty relieved, obviously.
Mate, we're all relieved, and Saints fans more importantly. Thanks for having a quick chat with us, and good luck for next week.
Cheers.
That's good news, Brownie. I know he's a good mate of yours, so he sounds pretty positive.
Yeah, great news. So hopefully he's back fighting fit, better than ever, and he'll be a professional and get back as quickly as possible for the Saints, because they've got a big year ahead of them.
All right, the Hawks back out on the ground. Brownie, the Bombers are out there as well. They warm up a bit and then we're underway again. Your expectations in this third quarter with the Hawks up by 8 points at the moment?
I reckon half-time came at a really good time for the Bombers, because they were out on their feet. The Hawks were really... they were just circling. They were going in for the kill. I reckon if they'd have gone for another 5 minutes, the Hawks might have put 2 or 3 more on. But just to get the breath, suck it in, get the words from John Worsfold, reset, get their minds together and go again in this first 10 minutes of this third term.
All right, so both sides in huddles now, both towards the city end of the ground. It's been such an enthralling contest. The build-up to this has been enormous. And when Jared Roughhead led the Hawks out on the ground first, it was just a fantastic scene. And then about 3 or 4 minutes later, the Bombers came out and the place erupted. We're close, you'd reckon, to 75,000, perhaps a little bit more here tonight at the MCG. The atmosphere has been electric. The Bombers kicked the first 3 goals of the match, if you're just joining us, and then it was the Hawks with the next 2, and since then it's been a real arm wrestle. As Nathan Brown just said, the Hawks edging their way to the front, and they really looked dominant in that last 5 or 6 minutes, as you said, in that second quarter.
Yeah, they did. Just to recap some of the Bosch stats, Tom Mitchell has been outstanding. 19 disposals early, 5 inside 50s to go with that, and 3 clearances. Will Langford has had 15, but probably the story of the night has been Zach Merritt. He's had 26 disposals, on track for 50 so far tonight. 4 clearances, 12 handball receives, running really well. And of those 26, 77% effective. So a big night for Zach Merritt.
6 blokes for the Bombers that didn't play last year, Brown. It's a great unknown, isn't it? How they can... I think Schwatter mentioned in that second quarter that players from both sides starting a little bit tired. She's certainly very humid here tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see how those 6 run out the last half of this game.
I reckon they'll run out the first few weeks pretty well. I reckon they'll be okay. I reckon they're going to hit a brick wall around round 5, 6, 7, around that time, middle of the season. I think they'll need some management, but I reckon they'll be fine tonight.
All right, for Bob Jane T-Mark, let's go boundary side with Mickey Roberts.
Still bloody steamy down here, Baz. It's like seriously sitting in a sauna, so it is going to suck the life out of them. Al Clarkson did a lot of coaching in that second term with blokes coming off the rotations and whatever. That's a part of his coaching. He loves to eyeball. Just an update on Cyril and also Frawley. Cyril, heavily bound, quad, and Frawley had that concussion fright, but both okay.
Robbo just slipping back into the St Kilda nightclub days there, Baz, with the
yes.
disco bowl.
Where
and
he
Stevie.
dominated.